Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We have three bad actors: Syria, Iran, Korea. I call them the SIK axis. It's S-I-K axis. I have to keep it simple, as you know. I'm from Texas. Ambassador Woolsey, I'd like to know, at the end of the day, and all four of you, at the end of the day, is Iran going to get nuclear weapons? Is North Korea going to get nuclear weapons?
Well, North Korea has had 3 detonations, and the last one, people comment on the fact that it was small, but if, let's say they mean to use it for electromagnetic pulse, you don't need more than a very few kilotons. What you want is gamma rays. So it's essentially an enhanced radiation weapon. So they may not be staying small because they can't build a larger weapon. They may be testing small because they've decided to enhance on trying to enhance their ability to take out our electric grid.
I guess I'm really asking about delivery systems, with weapons plus delivery systems. That's really my question.
Well, the one that North Korea now has put at least 1, maybe 2 satellites into orbit. And if you can get high enough and with enough lift to go into orbit, which doesn't take a great deal, you can reach the other side of the Earth. And the ability to use a fractional orbital bombardment system to just detonate something up above the United States that comes at us from the south. We don't have radars pointed down that way. And you have a very, I think, a very serious situation. Another kind of problem is the so-called Scud in a bucket, which is a simple $100,000 Scud missile in a freighter pulling up to a couple hundred miles off the East Coast and launching a nuclear weapon. If you want to be able to stop something like that, you've got to be able to shoot it down in boost phase or ascent phase while it's going up. We started some work on those in the Reagan administration, different types. We have now canceled every single American program that deals with intercepting ballistic missiles in the ascent phase or boost phase. We might well see a North Korean or Iranian fishing boat launch something, but there's not a damn thing we can do about it unless we catch it at mid-course or coming into a terminal to its target, a detonation. While it's going up, we can't shoot it down. So I would say at least working on those 2 types of problems is something our military ought to move back into.
All right. Dr. Sklisky.
I was reflecting on the question, the answer. With regard to North Korea, I guess what this conversation reminds me of a little is a conversation I remember having in graduate school after the flash in the South Atlantic occurred in 1979, and we were still debating as graduate students, did Israel have nuclear weapons or not? I'm not sure it's a very good analogy, but it suggests...
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
Cut to the chase. I only have a few minutes.
Okay. I think you need to move on. Yes, they have nuclear weapons in North Korea. And yes, you're not going to know exactly whether they're deliverable or not. And all the interpretation is just guesswork.
About Iran?
Iran...
End of the day, they're going to get nuclear weapons and capability?
If we continue the way we're going, absolutely.
All right. Dr. Albright?
Yeah, I think I'm a little scared to say this of after what Henry just said, but we do assess in North Korea, and we would assess that they're capable of putting a miniaturized warhead on a no-dong missile, which has a range of about 800 miles. We don't think they can put one on an intercontinental ballistic missile until they do quite a few more flight tests of the warhead, but they could be starting to do that, and so it's very worrisome. On Iran, I think, again, no one knows. I mean, a lot of it is going to be what the United States does to prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons. The role of Congress and the sanctions to increase the pressure, the pain, the helping stop Iran from getting the kinds of goods it needs, it's all very important. If Iran crosses, it's probably going to be a fairly crude weapon. as probably more of a nuclear explosive device. And it would take several more years probably to have a reliable, deliverable nuclear weapon on a missile.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The Iranians seem determined, and they have crossed many red lines. They're crossing further. I would just say one thing. If it is at times suggested that Iranians will stop at the breakout capacity and not cross the threshold when they get to it, I don't think that's true. I think if they get there, they'll cross. And, you know, they have broken every other taboo, so that's the road we're on.
All right, thank you very much. Yield back.
Thank you. The chair now